The dying wolf in Isla's arms weighs less than the secret she's been running from for 3 years. Blood stains the snow beneath her boots, too much blood for anything to survive. The blizzard screams around her small cabin, but Isla can barely hear it over the thundering of her own heart as she stares at the massive silver wolf collapsed against her woodpile. She should walk away. Every instinct she's honed during 3 years of hiding tells her to go inside, bolt the door, and pretend she saw nothing. But her wolf won't let her. Mate, something primal whispers inside her. Mate dying. No, Isla says out loud, her breath frosting in the air. No, it can't be. The wolf's chest barely rises. Ice crystals form in his thick silver fur. Even unconscious and bleeding out, he's enormous, easily twice the size of any wolf she's ever seen. His paws alone are bigger than her hands. Isla's fingers tremble as she kneels beside him. She shouldn't touch him, shouldn't get close. She's been so careful, so disciplined about staying invisible, staying safe. The wind shifts, and his scent hits her like a physical blow. Pine and winter storms. Leather and something darker, something that makes her wolf keen with recognition. Damn it! Isla grabs his ruff with both hands. He's too heavy, too far gone, but she pulls anyway, dragging him inch by agonizing inch toward her cabin. Her muscles scream. The snow is knee-deep and getting deeper with every second the blizzard rages. She's an Omega, the weakest designation. She has no business trying to move a wolf this size, but her wolf won't stop howling inside her chest, and Isla's hands won't let go. It takes forever to reach her door. By the time she hauls him inside, she's sobbing with effort, her clothes soaked through with snow and his blood. The warmth of the cabin hits her face, but there's no time to appreciate it. The wolf is dying. Isla drops to her knees beside him, her healer instincts finally overriding her panic. She's been studying herbs and medicine for 3 years, learning everything she can to survive alone. Now she catalogues his injuries with shaking hands, deep gashes across his ribs, burns on his paws, silver burns. And the smell? Wolfsbane. No, no, no. She runs to her shelves, grabbing jars and pouches, her mind racing. Wolfsbane alone would be bad enough. Silver alone could kill a strong wolf. But together they're a death sentence. Unless. Isla's hands freeze halfway to her mortar and pestle. She knows what can cure this. She's always known. Healers learn it early, even though most never see it happen. A true mate bond can heal almost anything. No, she whispers, but her wolf is already pushing forward, already trying to shift, desperate to mark him, claim him, save him. Isla forces the shift down. She hasn't let her wolf fully surface in 3 years, and she won't start now. Instead, she works with trembling hands, crushing herbs, mixing poultices. She cleans his wounds and packs them with drawing agents for the poison. She wraps his paws and drips water mixed with herbs between his jaws. All the while, her bond screams. She talks while she works, her voice barely audible over the storm. "You're not allowed to die in my cabin. Do you hear me? I didn't drag your oversized ass through a blizzard just so you could bleed out on my floor." The wolf doesn't respond. His breathing grows more shallow. Isla's hands shake harder as she realizes her medicine isn't enough. The poison is too advanced, the silver too deep in his system. She can slow it down, but she can't stop it. She sits back on her heels, staring at him. At the silver fur she remembers too well, at the massive frame that used to make her feel safe before it made her feel terrified. "Why here?" she asks him, her voice breaking. "Why my territory? You own half the north. You could have been poisoned anywhere. Why did you have to collapse at my door?" But she knows why. She's always known. True mates find each other, even when one of them runs. Isla buries her face in her hands. She's so tired of running. Tired of being alone. Tired of pretending she doesn't feel the bond that's been slowly killing her for 3 years. She rejected him. fled in the middle of the night after watching him kill Alpha Gordon in a challenge. She was 18, terrified, and convinced that anyone strong enough to tear out an alpha's throat would eventually do the same to her. She didn't know then what she knows now, that Gordon had been selling omegas to human traffickers, that Ronan had challenged him to stop it, that the kill was justice, not murder. By the time Isla learned the truth, she'd already been gone a year, and she was too afraid to go back, too ashamed. So she stayed hidden, built a life in this isolated cabin at the very edge of the Frostpine territory, told herself she was free, but she's never been free. The unfinished bond has been a chain around her heart, growing heavier every day. Now that chain is going to kill them both. Isla wipes her eyes and reaches for him again, checking his pulse. It's thready, irregular. She doesn't have much time. "If I do this," she whispers, "everything changes. You'll take me back to your pack. I'll have to face what I did. Face you." The wolf's breathing stutters. "Damn it." Isla shifts closer, placing her hand over his heart. She can feel it struggling, feel the poison, trying to stop it completely. She closes her eyes and finally, lets her wolf come forward. The shift ripples through her, and suddenly she's not an Omega woman alone in a cabin. She's a wolf, smaller than him, but glowing with purpose. Her wolf knows exactly what to do. She curls against his massive frame, pressing her muzzle to his neck, right where a mating mark would go. Her wolf's power pulses out, searching for his, and there. The bond flares to life like lightning in her veins. It's been there all along, dormant, but not dead, waiting for her to stop running. Now it roars between them, a golden thread that burns away the poison in his blood. Isla feels the moment his heart steadies, feels his wolf recognize hers and respond with desperate hunger. His body convulses as the bond purges the wolf's bane and silver. Isla holds on, pouring everything she has into him, and for the first time in 3 years, she feels whole. Slowly, agonizingly, the wolf begins to shift. Isla scrambles backward as his body changes, growing even larger, reforming into a man. A man she hasn't seen in 3 years, but who has haunted every dream. Every quiet moment, Ronan Blackthorn lies naked on her cabin floor, silver-white hair matted with blood, his skin covered in half-healed wounds. But he's breathing. His heartbeat is strong and steady, and his eyes are open. Those eyes, dark as a winter midnight, lock onto hers with an intensity that makes her wolf whimper and her human heart stop. Isla is still in wolf form, frozen in place. She should shift back, should run, should do anything except stare at him like she's seeing the sun for the first time. His voice comes out rough, barely more than a whisper, but it fills every corner of her small cabin. 3 years I've searched. His hand lifts, trembling with effort, reaching toward her. "And you've been here all along, Luna." Then his eyes roll back, and he collapses again. But not before Isla realizes the truth that makes her blood run cold. He knew. The entire time she was dragging him through the storm, fighting to save him, agonizing over her decision. He knew exactly who she was. Which means this was never random. He didn't just happen to be poisoned near her territory. He came here. He found her. And now, as the storm rages outside and Ronan lies unconscious on her floor, with her incomplete mating mark burning on his neck, Isla understands that running is no longer an option. Wanting to see what would happen next, subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 2. Isla watches Ronan sleep and tries to remember how to breathe. She's been sitting in the chair by the fire for 6 hours, wrapped in a blanket that still smells like pine and winter storms, like him. Outside, the blizzard continues to rage, sealing them inside together. Inside, the incomplete mating mark on Ronan's neck glows faintly in the firelight, a constant reminder of what she's done, what she still hasn't finished. His fever spiked an hour after he collapsed. Now his massive frame is curled under every blanket she owns, and still he shivers. Isla keeps getting up to check his temperature, to force more healing tea between his lips, to convince herself he's still breathing. She tells herself it's just healer instinct, that she'd do this for anyone. But her wolf knows she's lying. Isla. Her name comes out as a rough whisper. Ronan's eyes are open, unfocused with fever, but locked on her. You stayed. The blizzard, she starts. But he's already talking again, words tumbling out in a fevered rush. I saw you that night, in Gordon's compound. You were wearing a blue dress. His hand reaches out, grasping at nothing. You were so scared. They had you marked for sale, did you know? Next month's shipment. I saw your name on the ledger. Isla's breath catches. What? Gordon was selling Omegas, dozens of them over 5 years. Ronan's voice is getting stronger, urgency cutting through the fever. To human traffickers, research facilities, fighting rings. I spent 2 years gathering evidence before I challenged him. The room tilts. Isla grips the arms of her chair. That's a lie. Gordon protected us. He fed you lies and kept you docile. Ronan tries to sit up and fails. His beta confessed everything before he died. You were worth the most. Pure bloodline, they said. Never been touched. His eyes burn into hers. They were going to take you 3 days after I killed him. I saved you, Isla. And you ran from me. Isla stands abruptly, the chair scraping against the floor. No, you're confused? The fever? I have the ledgers, in my study. Your name in red ink. Ronan's hand shoots out, catching her wrist with surprising strength. Why do you think Gordon never let Omegas leave Pact territory? Why none of you had families to go back to? The truth hits her like a physical blow. She thinks of Sarah, who disappeared on a family visit and never came back. Of Emma, who was sent to a breeding program in the South. Of the way Gordon always touched her hair and called her his prettiest investment. Isla's legs give out. She sinks to the floor beside Ronan's makeshift bed. I didn't know, she whispers. I thought you were a monster. I am a monster. Ronan's thumb brushes across her wrist, right over her pulse. But not to you, never to you. The incomplete bond flares between them, and Isla gasps at the intensity. She can feel his pain, his exhaustion, his desperate need to make her understand. When I saw you in that compound, Ronan continues, his voice dropping, the bond hit me like a freight train. I'd never believed in true mates before. Thought it was Omega fantasy. His laugh is bitter. Then I saw you, and my wolf went completely feral. I had to tear out Gordon's throat to keep from tearing out the throats of everyone who'd ever looked at you wrong. Isla stares at their joined hands. You came after me, after I ran. Every day for 3 years. His grip tightens. I had trackers searching every territory, but you're clever. You stayed Omega. Never shifted where anyone could see. Never used your real name. How did you find me? Ronan's smile is sharp despite the fever. I stopped looking with my head and started looking with my heart. The bond guided me. It always does, if you stop fighting it. His eyes drift closed. Even poisoned and dying, I could feel you, like a beacon in the storm. Isla wants to pull away, wants to be angry that he tracked her down, that he's disrupting the careful life she built. But instead, she threads her fingers through his and holds on. The poison, she says quietly. Who did this to you? Ronan's expression goes dark. Marcus, my beta, my brother in all but blood. The betrayal in his voice makes Isla's chest ache. He's been planning this for months. Gathering supporters, making alliances. Convinced half my council that I'm too focused on Omega rights and not enough on pack strength. Your brother tried to kill you. He wants the throne. And I was making it too easy for him. No mate, no heir. Just me, alone and distracted. Ronan's eyes open again, finding hers. He never understood why I wouldn't take a chosen mate, why I kept refusing every omega, every alpha female my council threw at me. Why did you? Because I'd already found my true mate, and she was running from me. He says it simply, like it's the most obvious thing in the world. I couldn't bond with anyone else. The thought of touching another omega made my wolf want to rip my own skin off. The confession hangs between them. Isla feels heat creeping up her neck. You should have told me. That first night. Instead of just killing Gordon in front of me. I tried. Ronan's frustration bleeds through the bond. I came to your room after, but you were already gone. Window open, trail cold. You moved fast for an omega who'd supposedly never left pack territory. I'd been planning to run for weeks. I thought... Isla swallows hard. I thought Gordon was protecting me from you. From the violent Northern King who wanted to absorb our pack and claim all the omegas for himself. Let me guess. Gordon fed you stories about my cruelty, my conquests, my collection of omega concubines. Isla nods, shame burning in her throat. I have no concubines, no harem, no omega slaves. Ronan's voice is fierce. I abolished forced bonding in my territory 5 years ago. I've been fighting to end omega trafficking across the north. It's why Gordon and his allies wanted me dead. And now Marcus is finishing what they started. If I don't get back soon, yes. Ronan tries to sit up again and this time manages it, though he sways. He thinks I'm dead. The poison should have killed me in minutes. No one could survive Wolfsbane and Silver together unless they had a true mate to purge it, Isla finishes. She touches the incomplete mark on his neck and Ronan hisses. I didn't finish it. The bond. I know. His hand covers hers, pressing her palm flat against the mark. I can feel the incomplete connection. It's keeping me alive, but not making me strong. If Marcus's wolves find me like this... A howl cuts through the night. Close, too close. Both their heads snap toward the door. No. Ronan is on his feet in an instant, swaying but upright. They tracked me. How did they track me through the blizzard? Another howl answers the first. Then another. Isla counts at least 5 distinct voices, all of them getting closer. The bond, she says, realization hitting. They're following the incomplete bond's energy. It's like a signal flare. Ronan moves to the window, careful to stay out of sight. Isla joins him, and her heart sinks. Through the dying blizzard, she can see dark shapes moving through the trees. Big wolves, alpha hunters. You need to run, Ronan says. He's already reaching for his clothes, though his hands shake. There's a root cellar. You can hide until... I'm not hiding. Isla's voice comes out stronger than she feels. This is my territory, my cabin. Isla, these aren't ordinary wolves. Marcus sent his best hunters. They'll tear through this cabin in seconds. Then I guess you'd better be ready to fight. She moves to the door, but Ronan catches her arm. I can barely stand. I'm not strong enough to protect you. Then maybe, Isla says, meeting his eyes. It's time I protected you. Understanding dawns in his expression. The bond. If you complete it, you'll be strong enough to fight. She tries to sound confident, tries not to show how terrified she is. That's how it works, right? True mate bonds amplify power. Isla. Ronan cups her face, and the gentle touch is so at odds with everything she thought she knew about him. If you do this now, under duress, you'll regret it. I don't want your bond because you feel trapped. I want... The door explodes inward. 3 massive wolves pour into the cabin, all teeth and rage. Ronan shoves Isla behind him, his shift already starting, but he's too slow, too weak. The first wolf leaps for his throat. Isla doesn't think. Her wolf surges forward, and the shift takes her before she can draw breath. But this shift is different. This shift feels like the world cracking open. Power floods through her veins. Ancient, primal, vast. Her wolf erupts outward and she's moving, intercepting the attack, her jaws closing around the hunter's throat. She doesn't just stop him, She throws him across the cabin with enough force to crack the wall. The other hunters freeze. Isla stands in front of Ronan, and she knows something is wrong. She's too big, too strong. The cabin suddenly feels small around her, and when she looks down at her paws, they're glowing. White fur, bright as fresh snow, and across her shoulders, her flanks, her face, silver runes that pulse with otherworldly light. Luna's mercy, Ronan breathes behind her. He's shifted too, but his silver wolf looks small next to her. You're moon-blessed? Isla doesn't understand, doesn't care. The hunters are backing away, their body language shifting from aggressive to terrified. But one wolf at the back, larger than the others, with a scar across his muzzle, isn't retreating. His eyes are fixed on Ronan with murderous intent. The incomplete bond screams in Isla's chest. She can feel Ronan's weakness, his fading strength. The mark on his neck is killing him slowly, draining power into a bond that can't complete. The scarred wolf lunges. Isla moves on pure instinct. She meets him mid-air, and when their bodies collide, energy explodes outward. Her runes flare brilliant white, and she feels the bond snap fully into place. The rush is indescribable. Power floods from her into Ronan, amplified and pure. She feels his strength return in a surge, feels his wolf roar with renewed life, and she feels his mark burn into her skin, completing what she started in desperation. They're bonded, fully, irrevocably bonded. The scarred wolf crashes to the floor, unconscious from the sheer force of her power. The other hunters bolt, abandoning their leader, crashing through the broken door and disappearing into the storm. Isla shifts back, gasping. She's naked and glowing, silver runes still visible on her human skin. Ronan shifts beside her, and his arms come around her immediately, pulling her against his chest. Moon-blessed, he whispers into her hair. You're a moon-blessed Omega. No wonder your pack wanted to sell you. Do you have any idea how rare you are? I don't understand. Isla's hands are shaking. The runes are already fading from her skin, sinking back under the surface. What just happened? You amplified our bond. Ronan pulls back just enough to look at her, his eyes blazing with something between awe and possession. A normal Omega bond would give me back my strength, but a moon-blessed bond. He stops, seems to search for words. You multiplied my power tenfold. I can feel it. I could tear apart Marcus's entire army right now. The unconscious hunter groans. Ronan's expression goes cold, and he moves to finish what Isla started, but she catches his arm. Wait, we need answers. Ronan looks at her, and she sees the exact moment he accepts her as an equal, not just his mate, his Luna. You're right. He hauls the scarred wolf up. None too gently. Let's find out exactly how deep Marcus's betrayal goes. But as Isla watches Ronan interrogate the hunter, feeling their new bond pulse strong and bright between them, one thought keeps circling her mind. She spent 3 years running from this male, from this bond, and now that she's finally stopped running, she's more trapped than ever, because there's no walking away from a moon-blessed bond. And there's no hiding from a king who now has the power of 10 alphas in his veins. The question is, does she want to? Wanting to see what would happen next? Subscribe to this channel to get to listen to more of our upcoming exciting stories. Click on the subscribe button now. Thank you. Chapter 3. The journey back to the royal pack takes 4 days, and Isla spends every mile of it trying not to think about what waits at the end. She fails spectacularly. They travel with an escort of 20 wolves, loyal guards Ronan summoned once Marcus's hunter confessed everything before dying of his wounds. The hunter's last words still echo in Isla's mind. You can't stop what's coming. The old ways will return. Now she rides beside Ronan in the back of an SUV, watching the landscape change from wild forest to cultivated territory. Her hand keeps drifting to the complete mating mark on her neck, still sensitive and new. Through the bond, she can feel Ronan's satisfaction every time she touches it. Possessive bastard. "Stop that," she mutters. Ronan's lips quirk. "Stop what, Luna?" Feeling smug through the bond. It's distracting. "You marked me too." He tilts his head, showing off the silvery scar on his own neck, her claiming bite. "I can feel your anxiety. Want to talk about it?" "No. Isla." I said no. She crosses her arms, then immediately feels childish and drops them. "I'm fine. Just processing. Processing that she's bonded to a king, that she's apparently some legendary moon-blessed Omega worth more than her weight in gold, that in 4 days she'll be presented to a pack of thousands as their new Luna, whether they like it or not. And based on the tension radiating from Ronan's guards, they definitely won't like it. "They're going to hate me," Isla says quietly. Ronan's hand finds hers, threading their fingers together. "Some will. Others will love you. Most will wait and judge you based on your actions." He squeezes gently. "That's all you can ask for. You're forgetting the part where I'm a nobody, an exile Omega with no pack, no family, no training." Isla stares out the window. "I don't know the first thing about being Luna. You fought off 5 trained hunters while protecting your wounded mate. You're moon-blessed, which means you have power older than any pack law. And," Ronan's thumb brushes across her knuckles, "you're mine. That makes you Luna. Everything else is just details." Isla wants to believe him. But as they cross into the heart of Royal Pack territory and she sees the massive compound sprawling across the valley, more castle than pack house, with stone walls and guard towers, her wolf whimpers nervously. This isn't her world. She spent 3 years in a cabin that fit in one room of this monstrosity. The SUV stops in a courtyard full of waiting wolves, hundreds of them, all dressed in formal pack attire, all staring at the vehicles with expressions ranging from curious to hostile. "Breathe," Ronan murmurs. "I'm right here." He exits first, and the crowd erupts. Cheers mostly. Their king has returned from the dead. But Isla catches the undercurrent of confusion, the whispered questions. Where has he been? Why does he smell like mate bond? Who is she? Ronan reaches back into the SUV, offering his hand. Isla takes it and steps out into her new life. The crowd goes silent. Every eye locks on her, and Isla feels the weight of their judgment like physical pressure. She's wearing borrowed clothes, jeans and a sweater from one of the female guards, and no makeup. Her hair is barely brushed. She looks exactly like what she is, a feral Omega who's been living alone in the woods. Then someone gasps. Her neck. She's marked. The whispers explode. Isla's hand drifts to her throat, covering the mating mark self-consciously, but Ronan catches her wrist and gently pulls it away. "Don't hide it," he says, loud enough for everyone to hear. "You're my mate, my Luna. Let them see." A woman pushes through the crowd, and Isla knows immediately who she is. Tall, elegant, with long black hair and the bearing of an alpha female, she's stunning in a tailored suit that probably costs more than Isla's entire cabin. Her eyes, cold amber, fix on Isla with undisguised hatred. "Ronan," the woman's voice is silk over steel. "You return after 4 days missing, and this is your explanation. Some Omega you've bonded in a moment of weakness? Senna." Ronan's voice could freeze fire. "Watch your tone." "Watch my tone?" Senna laughs, but there's no humour in it. "I've been running your territory for 4 days, holding off Marcus's coup, keeping your pack from tearing itself apart. And you bring home a stray?" Isla's wolf snarls inside her chest. The runes under her skin pulse once, hot and bright, before she forces them down. Ronan steps between them. "Isla is my true mate. She's moon-blessed, and she saved my life." His power rolls out, making every wolf in the courtyard flinch. "She is your Luna. Anyone who has a problem with that can challenge her directly or shut their mouth." Senna's eyes narrow. A challenge. How traditional of you, Ronan? Her gaze shifts to Isla, assessing. Though I wonder if your little Omega understands what she's gotten herself into. Try me, Isla hears herself say. Her voice doesn't shake. I'm a fast learner. Senna smiles like a wolf who's just spotted prey. We'll see. She turns and walks away, the crowd parting for her like water. Ronan's hand tightens on Isla's. That, he says quietly, was your first taste of pack politics. Welcome to hell. The Royal Pack's lunar suite is bigger than Isla's entire cabin. It has a bedroom, a sitting room, a private bathroom with a tub that could fit 5 people, and a balcony overlooking the mountains. It's beautiful and luxurious and makes Isla want to run screaming back to her simple life. Instead, she stands in the middle of the bedroom and tries not to hyperventilate. You're doing it again? Ronan says from the doorway. He's changed into clean clothes, black pants and a dark shirt that makes his silver hair look luminous. Panicking. I'm not panicking. Your heart rate is 140. I can hear it from here. He crosses to her, pulling her against his chest. Through the bond, she feels his calm, his certainty. Talk to me. That woman, Senna, she hates me. She hates that you exist. Ronan's hands stroke up and down her back. For 3 years, she's been positioning herself as my future Luna. She's been running my household, managing pack politics, making herself indispensable. So, why didn't you choose her? Because she's not my mate. Ronan tilts Isla's chin up, forcing her to meet his eyes. And because I don't trust her. She's ambitious, ruthless. Exactly the kind of alpha female the old guard wants as Luna. Someone who will reinforce traditional pack hierarchy. And I'm the opposite. You're a moon-blessed Omega who can amplify my power and protect herself. You're a threat to everyone who wants to keep Omegas subjugated. He kisses her forehead, which is exactly why you're perfect. Isla wants to believe him, but as she stands in this ornate room, wearing borrowed clothes and feeling completely out of place, doubt gnaws at her. Then the vision hits. It slams into her without warning, a flash of the future so vivid, she gasps. She sees the great hall flooded with blood. Ronan on his knees, a silver dagger in his chest. Senna standing over him, smiling. And behind Senna, shadows of other wolves. Alphas wearing the insignia of the Southern Territories. Isla comes back to herself on the floor, Ronan's arms around her, his voice frantic. Isla, answer me. Vision, she manages, her whole body shakes. I saw. The moon blessing comes with visions. Ronan goes very still. What did you see? She tells him everything. The blood, the dagger, Senna's smile. The Southern Territory wolves. When she finishes, Ronan's expression is murderous. Senna, I should have known. You think she's behind Marcus's coup? I think Marcus was never smart enough to plan something this elaborate. He was always muscle, not brains. Ronan helps Isla to her feet. But Senna? She's been at my side for 3 years. She'd know my routines, my guards, my weaknesses. The poison, Isla says slowly. The hunter said something about final dose. What if you've been poisoned for longer? What if someone's been giving you small amounts for months? Ronan's jaw clenches. My mate bond with you purged it all. But before that, he thinks back. I've been tired, weaker than normal. My healers said it was stress. Or someone was slowly killing you. Isla's hands curl into fists. We need proof. We need to survive long enough to gather it. Ronan moves to the window, his eyes scanning the compound below. If Senna's working with the Southern Territories, she has powerful allies, alphas who want to return to the old ways, where Omegas are property and pack law is absolute. Then why not just kill you? Why poison you slowly? Because dead kings become martyrs, but a weak king who dies in a tragic accident after a failed bonding? Ronan's smile is bitter. That's a cautionary tale. Proof that the old ways were better. A knock on the door interrupts them. A young Omega enters, her eyes downcast. Luna, Alpha King. Dinner is being served in the Great Hall. Your presence is requested. Isla's stomach drops. Dinner? With everyone? It's tradition, Ronan says. The pack must see us together, see that we're bonded and strong. I'm not ready. You'll never be ready, but you'll do it anyway. He offers his arm. Because you're Luna now, and Lunas don't hide. Isla takes his arm, ignoring the way her hands shake. As they walk through the massive pack house, wolves stop and stare. Some bow respectfully, others whisper behind their hands. Isla keeps her head high and tries to channel every ounce of confidence she doesn't feel. The great hall is packed. Long tables stretch the length of the room, filled with pack members eating and talking. At the far end, on a raised platform, sits the high table, where she and Ronan will eat in front of everyone, where Senna is already sitting, right beside Ronan's chair. Bold of her, Ronan murmurs. That's the Luna's seat. They approach the high table, and Senna doesn't move. She smiles pleasantly, sipping wine from a crystal glass. Ronan, I saved you a seat. She gestures to the empty chair beside her. And your Omega can sit with the other Omegas, down there. She points to a lower table near the kitchen entrance. The great hall goes quiet. Every wolf watches to see what Ronan will do. Isla feels his rage through the bond, feels him ready to explode, but she touches his arm gently. Let me, she whispers. She walks up to Senna, every eye in the room tracking her movement. Up close, Senna's beauty is even more striking, and her power more obvious. This is an alpha female in her prime, confident and deadly. Isla should be terrified. Instead, she lets her wolf come forward just enough, lets the runes flicker to life under her skin, glowing faintly through her borrowed sweater. That's my seat, Isla says quietly. Senna's eyes widen as she sees the runes. For just a moment, fear flashes across her face. Then her mask slips back into place. Of course, Luna. The title drips with sarcasm. I was just keeping it warm. She stands, but as she passes Isla, she leans in close enough to whisper, You have no idea what you've walked into, little Omega. This pack eats wolves like you for breakfast. Then it's a good thing I don't scare easily, Isla whispers back. Senna's smile could cut glass. We'll see. The Luna trials are in 3 days. I'll be invoking my right to challenge. Isla's blood runs cold. Luna trials. A death match for the position of Luna. You can't, Ronan says, appearing at Isla's side. She's already Luna. The bond is complete. Old pack law says any she-wolf can challenge for the position within a month of the bonding. Senna's voice carries across the silent hall. It's tradition. Surely you wouldn't deny me my rights, Alpha King? It's a trap. If Ronan denies the challenge, he looks weak, like he doesn't believe in his own laws. But if he allows it... Isla touches his arm again. I accept. Isla, I accept the challenge, she says louder, looking directly at Senna. 3 days, you and me. Though I should warn you, I'm a lot tougher than I look. Senna laughs, and it's a beautiful, terrible sound. Oh, little Omega, I'm going to enjoy tearing you apart. She sweeps out of the great hall, taking half the room's attention with her. The whispers explode immediately. Ronan pulls Isla close, his voice urgent in her ear. You can't fight her. She's one of the strongest alphas in the territory. She'll kill you. She's going to try anyway, Isla says. She can still feel the vision burning in her mind. The dagger, the blood, Ronan dying. And at least this way, it's out in the open. This isn't a game. I know. Isla meets his eyes. But I saw the future, Ronan. If we don't stop Senna, she'll kill you. And if the only way to stop her is to beat her in the trials. She touches her mating mark, feeling the power humming beneath her skin. Then I guess I'd better start training. Ronan looks at her for a long moment. Then slowly, he smiles. It's proud and fierce and a little bit terrifying. You're going to be a hell of a Luna, he says. If I survive the next 3 days, Isla mutters. But as they sit down to dinner and she feels hundreds of eyes watching her, judging her, Isla makes a silent promise. She didn't run from her old pack just to be destroyed by pack politics. She didn't survive 3 years alone just to roll over for some jealous alpha female. She's moon-blessed, she's Ronan's true mate, and she's going to prove to every wolf in this room that she deserves to be their Luna, even if she has to fight to the death to do it. If you're still listening to this story up to this point, why don't you subscribe to this channel to continue getting impactful daily stories like this? We would be most grateful if you can do that to help boost this video to reach everyone. Thank you. Chapter 4. 3 days isn't enough time to prepare for a death match. Isla stands in the training yard at dawn, watching Ronan's best warriors demonstrate combat techniques she's supposed to master by tomorrow. Her body aches from 2 days of brutal practice. Her wolf paces restlessly inside her, runes flickering under her skin like a warning. Again, says Garrett, Ronan's head guard, a massive beta with scars covering half his face. You're telegraphing your movements. Senna will see that opening and gut you. Isla wipes sweat from her forehead. Maybe I don't want to gut anyone. Garrett's expression doesn't change. Then you'll die. Lunar trials aren't sparring matches. They're fights to the death. I know what they are. Isla moves back into position, but her heart isn't in it. 2 days of this. And she still can't reconcile what everyone expects her to do. Kill Senna in front of the entire pack to prove she deserves to be Luna. The thought makes her sick. Stop. Ronan's voice cuts across the training yard. He's been watching from the sidelines, arms crossed, jaw tight. Now he dismisses Garrett with a wave and approaches Isla. Enough for today. I need more practice. You need to stop forcing yourself into a mould that doesn't fit. Ronan hands her a water bottle. I can feel your conflict through the bond. You're going to lose because your heart isn't in this fight. Isla drinks, then caps the bottle with more force than necessary. So, what do you suggest? That I just roll over and let Senna kill me? I suggest you be yourself. Ronan cups her face, his thumbs brushing her cheekbones. You're moon-blessed. You challenged 5 hunters and won without any training. You survived 3 years alone. Why are you trying to fight Senna on her terms? Because those are the rules. Then change the rules. He says it like it's simple, like she has that power. Maybe she does. Isla stares at him, an idea forming. It's crazy, dangerous. It could get her killed or exiled or worse. But it's the only path she can see that doesn't end with her becoming something she's not. What if I refuse to fight? Ronan goes very still. Isla. Not refuse to show up. Refuse to participate in a system designed to make she-wolves kill each other for male approval. The words tumble out faster now. What if I challenge the entire concept of the lunar trials instead? The pack will see it as weakness. Some will, but some might see it as strength. Isla pulls away, pacing. You said yourself that the old ways need to change. That Omega subjugation has to end. Well, this is where it starts. With a Luna who refuses to play by rules written to keep us fighting each other instead of the real enemy. Ronan is quiet for a long moment. If you do this, there's no going back. The traditionalists will revolt. They'll say I've chosen a Luna who makes me look weak. And if I kill Senna, her supporters will call me a murderous Omega who seduced their king. Isla stops pacing, meeting his eyes. Either way, we have enemies. At least this way, I don't betray who I am. She watches him think, watches him calculate the political fallout. Through the bond, she feels his fear for her, his pride in her, his love tangled up with his duty. Finally, he nods. Do it. Challenge the system. I'll stand with you. Even if it costs you support, you're my mate, my Luna, my choice. His smile is sharp as a blade. Let them try to take you from me. The lunar trials are held in the great arena, an ancient amphitheatre carved into the mountainside. By midday, every seat is filled. Thousands of wolves from across the Northern Territories have come to watch their new Luna fight for her position. Isla stands in the preparation chamber beneath the arena, wearing the traditional trial garb, a simple tunic and pants that won't restrict movement. Her hair is braided back, no jewellery, no weapons except her own claws and teeth. Through the stone walls, she can hear the crowd roaring. They're hungry for blood, for tradition, for a show. She's about to disappoint them spectacularly. Ronan enters the chamber. Dressed in formal Alpha King regalia, black leather and silver chains that mark his status. He looks every inch the powerful ruler, but his eyes are worried. "Last chance to change your mind," he says quietly. "Not changing my mind. Senna won't accept this. She'll force a fight anyway. Then I'll deal with that when it happens." Isla stands, squaring her shoulders. "But I'm not starting this by ripping out her throat." Ronan pulls her close, kissing her fiercely. Through the bond, he floods her with strength, with certainty, with love. "Whatever happens, I'm with you." I know. The chamber door opens. It's time. Isla walks through the tunnel into the arena, and the noise hits her like a physical force. Thousands of wolves screaming, stamping, howling. The late afternoon sun blazes down from a cloudless sky. The arena floor is hard-packed dirt, stained dark from countless fights before this one. Across the arena, Senna emerges from the opposite tunnel. She's magnificent in her confidence, moving like a predator who's already won. Her eyes lock on Isla with undisguised hunger. Ronan takes his place in the Alpha's box, flanked by his council. His face is carefully neutral, but Isla feels his tension through the bond. An ancient Beta, the trial master, steps into the centre of the arena. His voice, magically amplified, booms across the space. "We gather today for the lunar trials, as wolves have done for 1,000 years. Senna Darkwater, Alpha of the Northern Ridge Pack, has challenged Isla Blackthorn, newly bonded mate of Alpha King Ronan, for the position of Luna." He pauses. "This is a fight to the death or submission. The winner claims the title of Luna. The loser claims nothing." The crowd roars approval. Isla steps forward before Senna can. "I challenge the trial itself." Silence crashes down like a fallen tree. Every wolf in the arena freezes. The trial master blinks. "You... what?" "I challenge the lunar trials." Isla's voice doesn't shake. She lets her runes flicker to life, glowing faintly through her tunic. "I challenge a system that forces she-wolves to kill each other to prove their worth. I challenge the idea that strength only comes through violence." "This is tradition," someone shouts from the stands. "Tradition built on fear," Isla calls back. She turns in a slow circle, addressing the entire arena. "Fear that if Omegas had power, if she-wolves stood together instead of fighting each other, the old order might crumble." Senna laughs. Cold and sharp. "Coward, you're just afraid to face me." "I'm terrified of you," Isla admits. "You're stronger, faster, better trained. In a straight fight, you'd probably kill me." She lets that sink in. "But that doesn't make you more worthy of being Luna. It just makes you a better killer." "That's what being Luna means." Senna stalks closer. Strength. Power. The ability to protect your pack through violence when necessary. "No." Isla stands her ground. "That's what being Alpha means. Luna is different. Luna is the heart of the pack, the foundation. And you can't build a foundation on blood." The crowd is murmuring now, some agreeing, others angry. Isla catches sight of the Omega section. They're staring at her with something like hope. "You would deny me my right to challenge?" Senna demands. "I would deny that you have any right to my position." Isla's runes glow brighter. "I'm Ronan's true mate, moon-blessed. Our bond is complete. There is no position for you to challenge for. It's already mine." Old Pack Law? Old Pack Law was written by alphas who wanted to keep she-wolves fighting each other instead of questioning their authority. Isla's voice rises. Old Pack Law said Omegas were property. That we could be sold, traded, bred without consent. Are we following that law too, or just the parts that benefit the powerful? Senna's face twists with rage. You're destroying tradition, destroying pack order. I'm rebuilding it into something better. Isla looks up at Ronan in the Alpha's box. He's watching her with fierce pride. A pack where omegas have value beyond breeding. Where she-wolves don't have to kill each other to be heard. Where strength comes from unity, not dominance. Pretty words from a coward. Senna shifts, her body blurring into her wolf form. A massive black beast with amber eyes full of murder. She launches herself at Isla. Isla shifts on instinct, her white wolf erupting out. They collide mid-air, and pain explodes through Isla's side as Senna's claws rake deep. They hit the ground rolling, a tangle of teeth and fur. Senna is bigger, stronger, more experienced. She pins Isla within seconds, jaws closing toward her throat. The bond screams. Isla feels Ronan's panic, his desperate need to intervene. But he can't. Trial law forbids it. Isla's runes flare brilliant white, and power floods through her. Not just her power, the power of every omega in the arena. She feels them. Hundreds of connections snapping into place like stars forming constellations. The ancient pack bonds that have always been there, ignored and suppressed. She throws Senna off with strength that shouldn't be possible. The black wolf crashes into the arena wall with a sickening crack. Isla shifts back to human, standing naked and glowing in the center of the arena. The runes cover every inch of her skin now, pulsing with otherworldly light. I am moon-blessed, she says, and her voice carries to every corner of the amphitheatre. I am the foundation of pack magic, and I am done fighting. She reaches out through the bonds. Through the connections she can feel thrumming like harp strings. Every omega in the arena gasps as they feel it too, the power they've always had, just waiting to be claimed. Stand, Isla commands. And it's not a request. It's a Luna's order, flowing through bonds older than pack law. The omegas stand, all of them, in the omega section, scattered through the crowd, even the few in the Alpha's box. They stand, and their eyes glow with reflected moonlight. Senna shifts back to human, blood running from her mouth. What are you doing? Showing them the truth. Isla looks at the omegas, at their faces full of wonder and fear and hope. You were never weak. You were never the bottom of the hierarchy. You're the foundation that holds everything else up. Without you, there is no pack, no magic, no bond. A young omega in the stand starts to glow, then another and another. Their runes awaken, nowhere near as bright as Isla's, but visible, real. The crowd erupts in chaos. Some wolves are shouting in anger, others in awe. The council is on their feet, arguing violently. Then the horns sound, 3 sharp blasts, the invasion signal. Ronan is out of the Alpha's box in seconds. Shifting mid-leap, his silver wolf hits the arena floor running, and Isla feels his urgency through the bond. Southern territories. They're attacking the eastern border. This is it. They think we're divided. Garrett bursts into the arena. Alpha King. 50 wolves. Maybe more. They're pushing through the mountain pass. Senna shifts back to her wolf form, her amber eyes calculating. For a moment, Isla thinks she'll join the defense. Then Senna's gaze locks on Ronan, and Isla sees it. The intent, the treachery, the perfect opportunity. The vision from 3 days ago flashes in Isla's mind. The great hall, the silver dagger, Ronan on his knees. It's her! Isla screams. Senna's with them. She's the traitor. But her warning comes too late. Senna lunges, not at the approaching enemy, but at Ronan's exposed flank. She has a blade, silver, hidden somewhere on her wolf form. It gleams as she strikes. Isla doesn't think. She shifts and throws herself between them. The blade punches into her shoulder instead of Ronan's heart. Silver fire explodes through her veins, and she screams. But her momentum carries her into Senna, and they go down together in a tangle of fur and rage and betrayal. Through the agony, Isla hears Ronan's roar, feels his fury through the bond. He's on Senna in a heartbeat, his jaws closing around her throat. But Senna isn't alone. Wolves pour into the arena from the tunnels, Southern Territory invaders, wearing their colours. They must have infiltrated during the chaos of the trials. The royal pack is surrounded, outnumbered, and Isla is bleeding out from a silver wound. She shifts back to human, the blade still embedded in her shoulder. Her runes are flickering, weakening. Through dimming vision, she sees her pack, Ronan's pack, trying to fight back. Sees the Omegas cowering in the stands, terrified and helpless. No, not helpless, never helpless again. Isla reaches deep into the bonds she awakened, past the pain, past the silver poisoning her system. She reaches for every Omega in the Northern Territories, not just the ones in the arena. Rise, she commands through the ancient pack magic. Fight. You are not property. You are not weak. You are the foundation, and without you, everything crumbles. Rise. The response is instantaneous. Every Omega in the arena shifts. Their wolves aren't as large as the alphas and betas, but there are dozens of them, and they're glowing with borrowed power, Isla's power flowing through the bonds. But it's not just the arena Omegas. Through her connection, Isla feels Omegas across the entire territory responding. Mothers leave their homes, healers drop their herbs, servants shed their submission. They shift and they run toward the fight, howling with a fury that's been suppressed for generations. The Southern Territory wolves don't know what hit them. They came expecting a fractured pack, a weak Luna, an easy victory. Instead, they face a tidal wave of Omegas fighting like alphas, empowered by a moon-blessed Luna who's rewriting every rule they thought they knew. Isla stays in human form, the silver blade still in her shoulder, acting as a conduit for power she didn't know she possessed. She can feel every Omega in the fight, can guide their movements, bolster their strength, heal their wounds. She's not just amplifying Ronan anymore, she's amplifying everyone. Senna breaks free from Ronan's grip, bloody and desperate. She shifts to human, screaming, "This isn't possible, Omegas can't, they're not supposed to, we're not supposed to be people?" Isla pulls the blade from her shoulder with a scream of pain. Blood pours down her arm, but her runes burn brighter. "We're not supposed to have power, to fight, to matter. You're destroying the natural order. The natural order was broken from the start." Isla stands, swaying but upright, "And I'm going to rebuild it." Senna lunges one last time, all claws and desperation. But she never reaches Isla. A dozen Omegas intercept her, pack members who've watched her poison their Alpha King, betray their pack, try to murder their Luna. They don't kill her, they restrain her, holding her down until the guards can take her. The Southern Territory wolves, seeing their ally captured and the tide turned, break and run. The royal pack chases them back through the tunnels, but most of the fight has drained from the invaders. You can't conquer a pack that fights as one. Ronan shifts back to human and catches Isla as her legs give out. "I've got you. Stay with me." "Silver," she gasps. "The baby." "What baby?" His eyes go wide. "Isla, are you—" "Pregnant, about 6 weeks." She laughs weakly. "Surprise." Ronan's face cycles through shock, joy, terror. "We need a healer, now. I'm the healer," Isla murmurs. She's already pulling power from the bonds, using the collective strength of her Omegas to purge the silver from her system. It hurts. Gods, it hurts. But it works. The wound in her shoulder begins to close. Her runes stop flickering and stabilize. Around them, the arena is quiet. Every wolf, Alpha, Beta, and Omega, is staring at Isla with something like awe. She pushed back an invasion while wounded with silver. She awakened every Omega in the territory. She proved that Omegas aren't the weakest link, but the foundation that holds everything together. Isla catches sight of the council in the Alpha's box. They look stunned, some angry, some thoughtful. One elderly Alpha, Councilman Thorn, the most traditional of them all, slowly bows his head. "Luna," he says, and the title is full of respect he didn't have 3 days ago. Others follow. One by one, the council acknowledges her. Senna, bloodied and restrained, screams, "You'll destroy us all. The old ways exist for a reason." The old ways, Isla says, her voice carrying across the silent arena, existed to keep some wolves in power and others in chains. Those days are over. She looks at Ronan, at the mate who stood by her through everything. We're going to rebuild. New laws, new traditions, a pack where every wolf, Alpha, Beta and Omega, has value. Where strength comes from unity, not domination. "That's a pretty speech," someone calls from the crowd. "But can you actually do it?" Isla smiles, fierce and certain. "Watch me." 6 months later, Isla stands on the palace balcony, watching the first snow of winter fall. Her hands rest on her heavily pregnant belly. Twins, the healers say. A boy and a girl, both carrying gifts from both parents. The Northern Territories have changed. The new laws passed after months of debate. Omegas have full rights, cannot be sold or forced into bonds, can hold positions of power. The lunar trials have been abolished. The old guard fought every step. But the Omegas, awakened and empowered, refuse to go back to submission. It's not perfect. There are still wolves who cling to tradition, who see Isla as a threat. But it's better. Every day, it gets a little better. Ronan wraps his arms around her from behind, his hands covering hers on her belly. They're active today. They're always active. Isla leans back against his chest. "I think your son is going to be a warrior. And our daughter? Will probably rule the world." Isla tilts her head back to look at him. "Are you ready for that?" "For my daughter to rule the world?" Ronan grins. "I've been ready since the moment her mother challenged the entire pack structure while bleeding from a silver wound." Isla laughs, then sobers. "Do you ever regret it? Choosing me? Supporting the changes?" "Every day," Ronan says, and when she stiffens, he turns her to face him. "I regret that it took 3 years to find you, that you had to run and hide and live alone, that I didn't dismantle the old system sooner." He cups her face. "But choosing you? Supporting you? Never. You're the best thing that ever happened to me and this pack." Before Isla can respond, Garrett appears in the doorway. "Alpha King Luna, you need to see this." They follow him to the Great Hall, where a messenger waits, a young Omega woman, travel-worn and nervous. When she sees Isla, her eyes widen. "It's true," the messenger breathes. "You're really moon-blessed." "I am." Isla steps closer. "What's your message?" The Omega pulls back her collar, revealing the faint shimmer of runes on her own skin. "I'm not the only one. There are others. Moon-blessed Omegas, hidden for generations because our grandmothers told us we'd be killed if anyone knew." She looks around the hall, at the council members listening with varying degrees of shock. "But word spread about what you did here, about the new laws, about Omegas fighting in battle." "How many others?" Ronan asks. "At least a dozen that I know of. Maybe more." The messenger's voice strengthens. "We've been hiding our whole lives, but if you can stand as Luna, if you can change the Northern Territories," she lifts her chin, "maybe we can stop hiding too." Isla feels something shift in the world, a change deeper than law, more profound than tradition. The moon blessing isn't one Omega's gift. It's a legacy, passed down through bloodlines, suppressed and feared because it threatened the power structure. Now, that legacy is awakening. She looks at Ronan and sees her own realization reflected in his eyes. What they started here isn't just about one pack or one territory, it's about fundamentally changing what it means to be Omega, to be Luna, to be Wolf. Tell them, Isla says to the messenger, tell every moon-blessed Omega you can find. They have a home here, protection, a pack that will value their gifts instead of fearing them. The messenger's eyes fill with tears. Thank you, Luna. After she leaves, Isla returns to the balcony. The snow is falling harder now, blanketing the territory in white. She thinks of the cabin where she lived alone for 3 years, of the terrified 18-year-old who ran from her mate because she didn't understand what she was seeing. That girl is gone. In her place stands a Luna, not because she fought for the title, but because she redefined what the title could mean. Ronan joins her, and they stand together in the falling snow. Through their bond, Isla feels his love, his pride, his certainty that they're building something that will outlast them both. The messenger, Ronan says quietly. She's just the beginning, isn't she? Yes. Isla places her hand over her belly, feeling her children move. The moon blessed are emerging, the old order is crumbling, and we're going to need allies for what comes next. War? Change. Isla looks at him. Real, lasting change. The kind that makes the powerful uncomfortable and the powerless finally free. Ronan pulls her close and they watch the snow fall together, Alpha King and moon-blessed Luna, mates who found each other despite every obstacle, now standing at the beginning of a revolution that will reshape the wolf world. The dying wolf in Isla's arms weighed less than the secret she'd been running from. But the Luna she's become weighs more than any crown. And she's only just beginning. The end. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe, like and share this video to continue listening to this type of story daily, and also to appreciate this community too. I would like to hear your wonderful opinion about this story. Please comment below.